Welcome back. I'm still with Talk's international editor, Isabel Oakeshott. Isabel, you're familiar with the legend of Robin Hood riding through the Glen with his band of merry men, robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. A great guy he was, lived in the 12th century. There's a building society in Nottingham, for that was where he was from, Sherwood Forest, near Nottingham. He was the enemy of the Sheriff of Nottingham. So the Nottingham Building Society has a little motif. It just says Nottingham Building Society. There's a little motif, we're going to show it now, of, a kind of cartoon version of Robin Hood. A few green lines. We'll show it in a second. They've axed that because Robin Hood is not inclusive enough. What?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm serious. It's
he lived in the flipping 12th century.
Yeah. I mean, what do they expect?
I mean, a lot of bad stuff was happening then, guys. I mean, where do we begin with those days? Those were dark days. Those were pretty much literally the Dark Ages coming into the medieval ages.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is what the bosses of this... By the way, if you got your money in the Nottingham Building Society, everyone, take it out as a protest. This is, again, Isabel, this is it. Stop this madness. This is insanity. So the bosses of this crazed company have said, this is what they've said. We've mixed our rich history with a modern twist. We want to reflect society as it is today. For us, that means championing inclusivity and celebrating financial diversity.
Oh, give me a break. Just start doing some banking, how about? And what about that weird N on their Nottingham Building Society thing? Is that new? I mean, what's the thinking behind that looking like a piece of spaghetti? Am I missing something here? Kev, I do have some concerns about this, which is that there are so many things for us to get wound up about that I think we need to be a bit careful of our mental health here.
Yeah.
Because there are just so many things that you and I could get our blood pressure going too high over. Maybe we just have to let these absolute muppets get on with their diverse and inclusive, weirdo, wacky spaghetti N bank.
Yeah. But actually, to actually deal with the details here, though, I mean, what does inclusive actually mean? I don't really get it. There's no, think about Robin Hood, there's no inclusivity involved. What does that mean? You mean the problem with Robin Hood is that it excludes everyone who doesn't live among a band of merry men who reside in Sherwood Forest. So if you're not a part of that gang, you're excluded, and that's all wrong.
I mean, come to think of it, why is it called Nottingham? Doesn't that exclude people from up north? Doesn't that exclude people from London? I mean, come on, guys. Why are you calling yourself Nottingham? I'm feeling left out here. I live in Oxfordshire. I live in London. I don't want to bank with a bank and a building society that's called Nottingham. That's not properly inclusive.
Exactly right. I mean, it's just insanity. This corporate wokery is one of the scourges of our time. All these companies that are sort of second-guessing the public, so that there are idiots working for the squiggly Nottingham Building Society. I think, by the way, this squiggly N is they're not very literate. They don't really know how to do N's or something like that. But there are idiots within the realms of that absurd woke company who have decided that Robin Hood is offensive to people. I mean, give me a small break. And on another issue, you love this one. A guy got sacked from a factory, right? And he's suing them for wrongful dismissal and unfair treatment while he was at work. I feel sorry for him if that case is justified. But basically, he's been given clearance by a judge to sue the company that he worked for sexual harassment because his foreman used to call him bald, because he indeed is bald. He used to call him a bald, I won't say the second word, but you can work it out. a judge has decided that that represents sexual harassment because baldness is a condition normally associated with men.
What a load of complete and utter balderdash is what I'm calling that. Total and utter balderdash.
Very good.
I mean, in fact, unfortunately, a minority of women also suffer from hair loss in middle and late age. And where do we even? I don't know, where do we go with this, Kev? It's getting late on a Thursday night. I'm not finding the words to articulate. And why do we even need to explain to anyone that labelling someone a bald whatever is not really sexual harassment, whatever it is, sex discrimination? It's just an old-fashioned insult. And whoever was doing that, you know, if Baldy was offended, then maybe Baldy should have just said he was offended, come up with something to hit back with. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think tribunal's the answer to that, do you?
I think what it comes down to, right, one of our problems with this, these increasing levels of insanity are judges who just sort of embrace this nonsense.
They're not on our side, are they?
Yeah, well, also, get a proper job. If you're going to sit around saying, is baldness sexual harassment? Is it, calling someone bald sexually harassing someone? Mrs. Justice Naomi Ellen Bogan, DBE, for her sins, said that such a comment, calling someone a bald... it's quite funny, actually, is inherently related to sex. Well, Mrs. Justice Naomi Ellen Bogan, get a proper job. This isn't the way to spend your day.
Couldn't agree more. Is this what you dreamed of, when you got elevated to that position, that you were going to be adjudicating on these grave matters of our times? Come on, man, have some pride, woman. Really, all your incredible experience and skills and expertise are coming down to a judgment of this nature. I think you'd be better off judging on the great matters of our times, like whether or not it is illegal or not for the British government to turn back the boats, proper, real debates of our time, not whether or not it's illegal or potentially arguably illegal to call someone a bald whatever.
Absolutely. Well, Isabel, if I can just stop on this note, stop the madness. Let's stop the madness. That's going to be our theme from now on. Great to talk to you, Isabel Oakeshott, Talks International Editor. Have a lovely weekend. We'll talk to you next week.